This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
I'm Roby Brock. Welcome to today's Talk Business and Politics Daily. It's Wednesday, October 12th. Here are your top stories of the day.
Lower employment, job gains, and positive growth among most of Arkansas's metro areas this year has pushed consumer confidence to its highest level in 2 years. That's according to the recent Arvest Consumer Sentiment Survey. With an index reading of 86.7, Arkansas consumers surveyed in August were also more confident than their Oklahoma neighbors, but a little less optimistic than Missouri. The national confidence reading was 89.8. Employer-sponsored health care plans will cost about 6.5% more next year, with health care expenditures reaching a point of equilibrium after several years of nearly double-digit growth. It's according to a new study by PricewaterhouseCoopers. The report noted that while costs have tempered from 9% gains in 2011, they remain a stretch for many consumers and employers that have pushed deductibles higher and abandoned prescription copay in order to keep premiums affordable. The Arkansas Hospital Association and the Arkansas Medical Society have endorsed Issue 4, the proposed constitutional amendment directing the legislature to set caps of at least $250,000 on non-economic damages in medical lawsuits and limiting attorney contingency fees to 1/3 of jury awards after expenses. The two medical associations announced that their governing boards had formally endorsed the amendment, which could be on the November 8th ballot. Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families and the Arkansas chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics announced in a joint release that they would both oppose the two medical marijuana proposals in the general election.
You can keep up with our daily headlines each and every day at talkbusiness.net. Still to come, another take from my recent interview with Jonathan Martin of the New York Times. We'll check in on last night's Jonesboro mayor's debate. And Michael Tilley shares his take on the latest economic report card from the Fort Smith Compass Report. We're back after this.
First Security is here. Only here. So that means we're here, here, and here. Even here. And definitely here. Because here is where we want to be for you. First Security Bank, only in Arkansas.
At Deltic Timber Corporation, we believe in the responsible creation of communities, in the development of neighborhoods that bring convenience and comfort to life, while respecting the beauty and delicacy of nature. Like the harmonious balance of environment and expansion found in the thriving communities of Chenal Valley and Chenal Downs in Little Rock, and Red Oak Ridge in Hot Springs. Because the best communities in the natural state are the ones that help keep it that way.
On Tuesday night in Jonesboro, I had the honor of moderating the very crowded mayor's debate in the capital of Northeast Arkansas. 6 candidates running for the influential office, including 5 challengers to incumbent Mayor Harold Perrin. George Jared, our Northeast Arkansas Bureau correspondent, was covering the event, and he offers this analysis.
I thought the candidates, for the most part, agreed on many issues, including salaries for employees. They've differed a little bit on these convention center proposals. I did notice that Harold Copenhaver and Harold Perrin did get into a little bit of a disagreement about transparency in city government. And so I thought that was a little bit, maybe the only contentious parts of the debate tonight. I think that there's a lot of, Jonesboro is growing a lot. 72,000 residents now. Within the next 10 years, will be over 100,000 people. And as far as square mileage, it's the second largest city in Arkansas. Services like fire, police, sewer, all these things, it's going to be a real problem in this city. And so the next mayor is really going to have to develop a comprehensive plan to take care of these problems. And I thought the candidates had some decent answers as to how they would do that tonight. I think it's going to come down to a lot of which voter groups they appeal to. It's 6 candidates. It's pretty hard. I'm sure we'll have a runoff. It's just a matter of which 2 candidates will we have to run off with.
That's George Jared, who covers Northeast Arkansas business and politics for us at talkbusiness.net. A quick break. We'll be joined by Jonathan Martin of the New York Times for an update on the presidential campaign trail. And Michael Tilley shares the latest Compass Report data from Fort Smith. We're back after this.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us.
Oh, I love you too, sweetie.
Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.
I did.
As Arkansas's population grows, so do our energy demands. But with the right mix of resources, reliable, affordable power will always be a reality. These resources are all around us in our rivers, blowing through our trees, even right below our feet. The answer isn't focusing on one resource, it's embracing them all. The electric cooperatives of Arkansas know that a balanced approach to power builds our communities and powers our dreams. Visit themixmatters.com and see why there's power in knowledge.
Well, there was a very smart piece last week from the New York Times' Amy Chozick. It centered on how the Hillary Clinton campaign is using First Lady Michelle Obama strategically on the campaign trail. Jonathan Martin of the New York Times and I discussed.
Here's the way to know the Clinton campaign is serious about a state. Are they sending Michelle Obama there? And that's what Amy was writing about, and it was really an incisive story because Michelle Obama's time is fairly limited, and she obviously is not going to be out there as a full-time campaign surrogate. But where she does go, the Clinton campaign wants to have her, put to use in a very effective way. So they're not going to waste a single trip. So the fact that she's been in Pennsylvania and North Carolina speaks volumes about how important the Clinton camp feels about those two states. If they hold those two states, it's very tough for Trump to win, Roby. That's the larger challenge that Trump has, and not just Trump, by the way, that the Republicans have, because Romney had this challenge 4 years ago. The margin of error on the electoral map for the GOP is a lot smaller than it is for Democrats, because Democrats have got a series of big states, California, New York, Illinois, New Jersey, that they routinely carry. And so, the Republicans have got to basically pull close to an inside straight to win 270 electoral votes. It's just very difficult for them, given what's happened in both the interior West and in places like Virginia, which were more red-leaning, Roby, in the past and have now become fairly safe Democratic states.
That's Jonathan Martin with the New York Times. A word from our sponsors. We'll be joined by Michael Tilley, Executive Editor for Talk Business and Politics. What's happening in the Fort Smith metro economy, and how does it relate to the rest of the state? Find out when we come back.
Circuits turn on the lights by making a connection, by closing the loop. At Entergy, we believe our economy is circular too. What you put in comes back. So we invest billions in new infrastructure, which helps attract new industry, which helps create new jobs. We partner with local communities to electrify the economy. And together, we power life. Entergy.
You've likely heard of the Great Arkansas Treasure Hunt. In fact, you or your business may have property to claim in the hunt. But where does this treasure come from? Businesses like yours. The law calls it unclaimed property. If your business is holding money on its books that you've not been able to return to the owner, it's most likely unclaimed property, and the law requires it to be sent to the state auditor's office each year. Auditor Andrea Lea's office can make the process for businesses to comply with the law easy and straightforward. Help us help you return Arkansans' unclaimed property at auditor.ar.gov.
One of the big reports you can find on a quarterly basis on our website at talkbusiness.net is the Comprehensive Compass Report. It is underwritten by Zero Mountain Logistics, covers economic activity in Central, Northwest, Northeast, and the Fort Smith metro area. Today, Executive Editor Michael Tilley describes the big takeaways from Western Arkansas and his hometown of Fort Smith.
For the Fort Smith metro area, it was a C-. It's the lowest of the 4 metro areas we look at each quarter. And again, what we've seen, which is what we've seen for several quarters now since back to 2009, is just this economy that had such a manufacturing presence is struggling to emerge. And so what we saw is still about 114,000 jobs at the end of the quarter. They just can't get above that 115,000 level. Manufacturing employment is still depressed. But the positive, where we saw some positives, was in construction, good building permit numbers for the quarter. And their sales tax revenue. Consumers in the metro economy have not given up. Sales tax revenue was good, but that C- grade, that C minus, which continues to kind of dog the Fort Smith metro area, didn't go away in the second quarter, unfortunately.
That's Michael Tilley with a look at the latest from the Compass Report. You can check out the full report online at talkbusiness.net. That is all for today's Talk Business and Politics Daily. I'm Roby Brock. We'll see you tomorrow.